Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pro Football Historian channel. I'm your host, Lane Given, and today we'll be discussing and previewing all Week 2's NFL games. And we'll start off with the Miami Dolphins versus the Baltimore Colts. Very interesting game. We obviously saw this last year, and it kind of started, season on a downward path when the Ravens lost this game on Thursday night. Um, Again, Brian Flores for the Dolphins and their head coach. You think the Ravens would be looking at that game as one of the last games Lamar Jackson played? It was a game where they team started to attack him the way the Dolphins did. I think the Dolphins are going to play. They played that same style last week. I think it's going to be pretty much the same going into this game. So, and then for the Ravens defense, they're going to be much healthier. I think the Ravens are going to win this game at home. Should be able to not upset because they probably are the favorites. But this should be a close game. Very interested in seeing how this game gets played out. And I'm leaning to the Ravens to win this game. They had almost, 10 months to kind of look back and try to resolve the issues they had at the end of last year. And they're a much healthier team, obviously, too. Going to the next game, Browns Jets. For these are probably the two worst quarterbacks starting this week, besides maybe Cooper Rush. I think Brissett's a little bit better than Flacco at this point, and the team around Brissett is much better than what the Jets have. Jets defense did really good, but I lean towards the Browns in this one, just the better team at home. But I will say the Jets, much more. This is probably the easiest game. It's not an easy game. It's probably the easiest or worst opponent they play in the next month or two. So if they're going to get a win, this would be one of the weeks. And remember, not that this matters too much a few years ago, but Jets did beat the Browns when they didn't have, they had like one win. They were coming off the win against the Rams in an upset when they had Sam Darnold. But again, that's pretty irrelevant to this game. Moving on, Lions, Washington. I could see either team winning this, and you would think the Lions eventually going to win one of these close games. I expect this to be close. But look, a lot of people are high on the Lions, much higher than me. And I do think they're improved. And I think a lot of things they did last week, even Washington's defense, probably worse than the Eagles. I just don't think they're going to be as simple as what the Eagles did, allowing Goff to play, decently well last week, besides the pick 60 through. So I'm going to pick Washington, but I'm not comfortable in picking them this game. And the next game, we get Jags Colts. Colts with a tie last week. They get some momentum, some offense going, got some drives. They got long sustained drives, which they didn't have early in that game against Houston. The Jags looked really good. They had multiple opportunities to win last week. And I'm going to just pick them. I think they've had the advantage over the Colts at home in recent years. And I think the defense can hold up. And I don't see, it wasn't even really a close game last year at the end of the year. And I don't think Matt Ryan is that much improved over a guy like Carson Wentz. So I'm going to lean Jags, but again, not comfortable in saying they're going to definitely win. But I'm going to lean Jags at home to win this game. I did pick them last week, and it did not happen. So next game, Saints Bucks. This matchup happened over and over the last few years. Not lots different besides you could say Bucks injuries. And Tom Brady, you can say I don't know if the lost weight's going to be affecting him throughout the season, and will he gain the weight? I don't know, but he just doesn't look all. It's not just him. The offensive line obviously isn't what it was with the injuries, and now your receiver issues. I just think it's all going to come play, and this is one of the worst teams they could face at this time. And just pick the Saints again. You know, Bucks had more success in New Orleans than they had at home against them for some reason. So I think this is going to be decently close, but I'm going to pick the Saints. Panthers Giants. This is the game where I see a lot of people picking the Panthers, and I understand, but I have a hard time, even with the Panthers' improvements, going from how they played the Giants last year. I mean, also the Giants improved in some areas, not really as a team, but with Saquon healthy, it wasn't really a close game. The Giants just almost shut out the Panthers, and I think they're gonna win this game. I'm some reason gonna have the Giants going 2-0. Moving on, Patriots Steelers. This is I have a hard time picking because I think the Steelers had issues against Bengals defense. They're gonna have issues against New England's defense. Now, vice versa. What's New England gonna do? This could be a game where it's 13-10. I am going to go with the Patriots, even though I'm not comfortable. I'm not sure if they're going to win this. I just got that feeling, and I'm just going to go with New England. Not a lot to it. I could see, again, either team winning. And Rams, Falcons, I'm going to pick the Rams. I think they're a way better team. Even with Atlanta's a pretty good coach team. I think with the extra time the Rams had, I think they're going to win that game. Next game is a rivalry. Seattle's actually played the 49ers well in recent years. And now with a new quarterback, this is going to be a close game, I feel. But ultimately, I'm just going to go with, I think, the better roster, better team. And again, Seattle didn't really do much after that first half. But I'm going to pick the 49ers. I think most people are. But I'm not totally surprised if they lose it. Seattle has had some success against the 49ers and even stopping the Shanahan offense. Going on the Bengals, Cowboys, I don't feel like this is going to be a close game. I think the Bengals are going to win this pretty big. Not a big Cooper Rush guy. I think he's around, borderline top 60 quarterback. And I don't think Dallas's team is really that healthy, and I don't think they're as good as last year. So going with the Bengals, and I think they should have won last week, the Bengals. They just had injuries in terms of their long snapper, and, the turnovers really hurt them. So I'm going Cincinnati in that game. And Houston, Denver. I think it's probably closer than people think, but I'm going to take Denver. Even though I think Houston's some of a good, solid coach team. Just it's hard to pick Houston with the roster they have, and you would think you would want to run against Denver if anything, but I don't think Houston has the offense to take advantage of it. So they're going to have to throw it, and against the secondary, Denver should have a good time slowing them down. And if they don't turn it over a few times last week against Seattle, Denver inside the one, Denver wins that game. So going with Denver. And then the next game is Raiders, Cardinals. Both teams have weaknesses, offensive line especially, and then even defensive line. Cardinals aren't great there. So I don't think they're going to be able to take advantage of the Raiders' offensive line. And for that reason, and then Raiders, their receiving core and tight ends against the secondary of Arizona, other than the safeties for Arizona and maybe the linebackers, there's not much pointing upward for their defense. And I think the Raiders have a pretty good offense. I think that's the main reason why I'm picking the Raiders to win this game in Las Vegas. Next game is Packers-Bears. Could be close. I think the Packers still have to figure out. I know how they want to play, but they're still getting used to the offense and who they want to use more and when they want to use different receivers. Because last year was a complete mix of their 5 or so receivers. In terms of snap count, it was pretty even. Um, and who knows if they're going to get their lineman back this week too. Alan Lazard's questionable, I know, and including Bakhtiari, their left tackle, and right tackle Elgin Jenkins. So we'll see. But I think their defense should have a really good game. I think besides some blown coverages, they played pretty well, pretty good. So winning Green Bay in this game. And Tennessee Buffalo. I think this is going to be closer than what the spread is. Um, though I will say Buffalo's improved the defensive line, especially the run defense. And that's what Tennessee took advantage last year. I think in Buffalo, I'm going to take Buffalo to win it. But wouldn't be surprised if Tennessee wins it or at least keeps it close. Moving on to the other Monday night game, Eagles, Minnesota. I have a hard time choosing this one. I think Minnesota could be a playoff team, but I think people's hype over them from last week, they didn't have to do much, to be honest. Green Bay just beat themselves pretty much. And the Eagles, if they weren't so simple, I think they could easily be in the lines pretty good. So I'm just going to lean with the home team, the Eagles, but definitely not confident in it. But I think they have a better team, and that's why I'm going to go with that. And now that you've seen the new offense of the Vikings, I think you can get kind of a feel for what they want to do, and that should help the Eagles in terms of not playing them week one where they were going to have no clue what they were going to do. At least not have a great idea. Obviously, we know they're the Rams, Sean McVay type offense, similar to like maybe the Bengals or the Packers offense, or even the Bears. But so yeah, that's my week one preview. And it was quicker, but hopefully maybe you appreciate it, maybe you like it quicker. I guess let me know if you like this style, going really quick into the games and not overanalyzing anything. But again, you guys let me know. Well, enjoy week 2 of the NFL season, and I'll see you guys early next week when I preview week 3 or review these games. Sorry, review week 2, and then I'll again preview week 3 when we get to it later in the week. Again, thanks for watching and enjoy the games.